a lot of, because it's holy bread. It's not just, you just don't throw it away like that, okay? So that's number one. Number two, and this is something that I know is happening, you should not be running around in the church. The church is not a playground. It's not even a classroom. It is a place where we worship God. So if you ever go to a Catholic church, you'll see that everybody is very quiet. And that makes me sad, because in the Catholic Church, they're very reverent, but in the Orthodox Church, it's a free-for-all until the service starts. People are talking in the back. Should not do that. Should be very, as soon as we enter the church, quiet. Should be quiet, okay? Even when you come in here for the lessons with me, we should try to be as quiet as possible, because we're in God's house, okay? It's not a place that we can play around in. I think it was two or 3 weeks ago, you were running around in the back, and remember I stopped you? I told you, please don't do that. So if there's someone that's not here that does that, you should say to them nicely, you say, Father Frank does not want us to be running around in the church because it is God's house. Okay? Can we agree to do that? Thank you. That would be very nice. If you don't, well, you know what? That's my life. I don't know if everybody heard it. She said, what happens if you tell them not to do it and they still do it? It's, well, you got to keep doing it. You got to keep saying it. You got to keep saying it. And if you do it, if you're a good example, then they're going to do it too. Say, you know what, if you're going to do that, I can't be in here with you. And you walk away. And sooner or later they'll learn that, they shouldn't do it. Well, if you throw it away and you didn't know, that's different. But now that you know, you shouldn't do it. Okay? And we always ask God to forgive us of the sins that we know and the sins that we don't know. Sometimes we do something wrong, we don't know that it's wrong. So we ask God, please forgive me if I did that too. We call that a sin of ignorance, a sin of we don't know, we don't understand. That's why it's good that you have questions. Do you have a question? Who made Jesus? That's a really good question. That's a really good... Did you make that question by yourself? What's your first name? Athena. Wow. Athena. Like the goddess, right? Yeah, you like that. Should have seen her face when I said that. So let me answer that question, because that is kind of one of the questions here, is where did God come from? Where did Jesus come from? Well, in order for someone to be God, they have to be always there. So God the Father, He was always there. And Jesus, His Son, came into the world by being born of Mary. You see the picture of Mary here? The icon of Mary? See it right there? Who does she have in her arms? A baby. Who do you think that baby is? So how did He come into the world? From Mary, see? So now you have the answer. You have the answer. You see? And that's what Christmas is about. Christmas is about Mary giving birth. Do you have a little brother or a sister? So you're younger? Yeah, she's younger. Okay? Yeah, so same thing. Is that someone was born in the family, and so he was born into the world. Okay? Did I answer it for you? Oh, good. So let's look at some of these questions, and you tell me if I've already answered these. Someone asked, and it's a good question, and anonymous too, hiding. Maybe it was one of you. I don't know. What is gluttony? Do you know that word, gluttony? No? That's why I don't think you asked that. I think somebody else did. So gluttony is, do you go for Halloween? Do you go out for Halloween? Trick. So do you get a lot of candy? So what does your mother or father say to you about when you bring home the candy? Are you supposed to eat it all at one time? No? What will happen if you do that? You'll get sick, right? Yeah. No, Halloween is not from the devil. We know that. Do you know what the word Halloween means? You don't know that? Oh, really? Interesting. So that's another question. But let me go back to the gluttony one. You want to get away from that. So gluttony means if you sit down and all you do is eat and eat. No, eat. Do you know anybody who, they sit down, they just eat and eat and eat and eat? And what happens if you eat too much? Exactly. You get obese. You get really, really heavy. So we don't want that, right? So gluttony is not only to eat food, but for other things too. When we want too many toys, we can be gluttonous. That's what the word means. Meaning, only for me, none for you. Greedy, that's good. So gluttony and greedy come together. Usually, people who are gluttonous are very greedy people. All they care about is themselves. Me, 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 me. Yeah. So when you go for Halloween, and I'm going to get back to Halloween, when you go out to Halloween, you shouldn't be gluttonous, right? When you get all the candy, maybe you should say to your mother and father, here, would you like some? They don't want any. But you understand what I'm saying. You have too much, right? Gluttonous people never have enough. They want more and more and more and more. That's what gluttony is. And we pray to God to help us not to be like that, not to be gluttonous. Because people who are gluttonous, they don't know they are oftentimes. They think that that's what they need. But you know what happens? You need more, and you need more, and you need more, and you need more. Okay? So that's gluttony. Let me go to Halloween, because that's a good question. So Halloween, originally, do you know that it was a church celebration? Yeah. It's called All Hallows Eve. Halloween comes from All Hallows Eve. So what do you think that means? What does hallow sound like? Halo. Very good. So who do you think halos are? People who wear halos. The angels and the saints, right? So it is the eve, the evening before, the church used to celebrate All Saints' Day. Did you know that? Obviously you didn't know that. Well, what happened was, over time, over many centuries, really, All Hallows Eve stopped being about saints, and before you know it, who are the opposite of the saints? The devils. You see, so what I like about Halloween is it allows us to talk about the saints of the church and to dress up, if we want, to dress up like people that we would like to be like. Right? You want to be like Athena? The goddess Athena? That's a kind of cool thing. You want a dinosaur? You want to become a dinosaur? See, when they wear these scary things, they're not doing it for the right reasons, they're doing it for the wrong reasons. So the only way that I like Halloween, if we don't honor the devils, so we don't honor the devils or the demons and scary stuff. We do positive things. That's why girls, they dress up as Cinderella and princess, superheroes. Good. You have a question? So is it okay to go away from this? So did you hear the question? See up there, see where the icon of Jesus is? Okay? So look above that, there's like a triangle with an eye in there. Yeah, that's God's eye. In the Old Testament, it says that God is all-seeing. He's always watching. He can always see what's going on. So that's there. And the triangle, what do you think that means? What do you think? Very good. The Trinity. Excellent. So God the Father is all-seeing, but He's within the Trinity. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. But it is God the Father that is the one that all-seeing. Athena, do you have another question? We're going to go here. Okay, so let me do a couple more here so that you can go have pancakes, because we do have pancakes, right? Okay. Do you like pancakes? How do you fast? This will be the one, not only for you, but I know it's for the adults as well. So do you fast at all? Do you know what fasting is, first of all? You do? Okay, so I want to adjust that, because that's kind of the mistake that we hear. There's a little truth in that, and there's a little not so truth in that. When do we fast in the church? Let's start there. You said Easter. Just Easter? Christmas? What? Thanksgiving? You fast at home at Thanksgiving? I'm not coming to your house. Do you fast during the week? Don't say, let them, I want to hear what they know and they don't know. Are you sure? No, you're not sure. How many of you are sure when you fast during the week? That's all you remember is Easter? Why? See, this is the danger here, is that we're turning fasting, and we're teaching the children, and you all are hearing this, that fasting is a way to receive God's pat on the back. So, do you need to fast in order to receive Holy Communion? So some of you said yes, some of you said no. See how it's a confusing thing, isn't it? But it really is simple. There's an answer. Let me give you the answer, the easy answer. Why do we fast on Wednesdays and Fridays? See if you can give me that answer. Because everything else will start from that. When was he crucified? On a Wednesday? Then he rose on a Friday. So he was betrayed by Judas on Wednesday, and he was crucified on Friday. And so we fast because Jesus himself said in the Bible that there is no, when he was with his disciples, the disciples and he were eating all the time. They were not fasting. And all the people who love rules went to the disciples and said, hey, what is it with your master? How come you guys don't fast? Jesus heard that. And he went to them and said, as long as the bridegroom is with them, with you, there is no reason to fast. Have you ever gone to a wedding? Do they fast at a wedding? No. Because there's a bridegroom there, bride and a bridegroom. So Jesus says that he's the bridegroom. He's come. He wants us to be part of his church. So as long as Jesus is with us, there's no reason to fast, he says. But we fast on Wednesday because we remember the day that he was what? The Wednesday? Betrayed. By who? By Judas. You have to know that. And then he was crucified on? So he was taken away from us on Friday, and he was taken away when he was betrayed. So the church, in order to remember that, we pull away and we say we're going to fast to remember betrayal of the bridegroom and the crucifixion of the bridegroom. Then every Wednesday and Friday we're not supposed to do what? Eat meat. Can you do that? You don't have to go that strict, okay? I'm happy if you just don't eat meat on Wednesday and Friday. For how long? You see, this is what I'm trying to show you, is that there's more to fasting than just doing it 1 week at Easter time. And it's not so that you can receive communion. It's not because it's Easter time and you're going to receive the one-time communion a year and I'm going to fast and now I can be rewarded by God. That's a wrong way to understand fasting. Fasting is to remind ourselves that we lost Jesus. He was pulled away from us. He was crucified. It is a time of penance. It's a time in which we mourn what happened to us. No, we don't suffer with him. No. We remember his suffering. So, do you know what the reason is that we're supposed to fast for 40 days at Lent? It's 40 days. And why we fast before Christmas. There's a reason for that too. And it's not my opinion. You can go check. I know you're not going to do it. You can read St. John Chrysostom and you see what I'm saying is correct. Why do we fast? Why does the church say, it's a good thing for us to fast 40 days before Easter? It's really more than that, but it'd say 40 days, and 40 days before Christmas as well. It starts on November the 15th. Do you know why? So, in those days, what was more expensive, fish or meat? Meat. Now it's almost the reverse. But then, meat was very expensive. What about oil? Is it expensive then? Salt? What do you make with salt, bread? You make bread. See, eggs, very expensive in those days. So the church said, I think it's a good idea for us to not be gluttonous. We talked about gluttony? Not to be gluttonous for 40 days. And the money that we save, what do you think we should do with it? Go ahead. Very good. Yeah. So we got a financier here already. You give half to the church and half you invest in stocks. No, you didn't say that. But you're thinking the right way. You see, so St. John Chrysostom says that if somebody fasts and gets up from the table and they're full, and doesn't take the money that they saved and give it to the poor, their fasting means zero. And not only does it mean zero, he says that it's the fasting of the evil people. That's how much he believed that fasting has to be connected to no to me and yes to you. So you can fast from time as well, can't you? How much television do you watch a day? 5 hours? How much time do you spend in front of your computers? Everything is on the computer. How much time? Oh no! Don't tell me about your mom. I don't want to know what's wrong, because you guys won't come anymore. Your mother will say, "We're not going to that anymore." No. So what I'm trying to tell you is that fasting is not just food. We can say, instead of spending so much time in front of the television, instead of 5 hours a week, 5 hours a day, I'm going to take only 4 hours in front of the computer, and I am going to have that 1 extra hour. What should I do with it? Spend time with your family. It's a good start. What else could we do with that hour for God? See your friends? Nah, I don't know about that. That's go see a sick friend. Go help someone, help the poor. Pray. Pray about people who need help. Very good. So you get it now. I think you're beginning to understand, is that fasting is to say, I'm going to step away from me, and I'm going to take some of me and give it to somebody else. And that's not my opinion. That's St. John Chrysostom's opinion. St. Basil, the same thing. Wrote the same thing. But if we turn fasting into, you know what, I'm not going to eat this for a couple of days so that I can receive Holy Communion, D-. It is not, you're not going to get a good grade if you put that on a paper. Okay, so we're going to stop here. I think we discussed a number of things. And then next month, the first Sunday of the month, we'll continue with the list that I have. If you have any new questions, I'll be free to answer them. So please go and enjoy your cold pancakes. Thank you for sharing.